Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Julian Feder about Escape the Field, which is available now. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Yeah, hey, thank you so much for having me.
I love the film. It's exciting. I mean, you know, the thriller horror genre is so massive right now, Julian. What's it like to be working on a film during the time where it's so massive genre-wise right now?
Yeah, it was really cool. I think one of the really exciting things for me was, I've done 8 movies, but this was my first one, my first horror movie. So that was really exciting for me, and I thought it was really incredible to get to see, kind of behind the scenes on one of these movies. Like, how did they create all that, suspense and I don't know, jump scares and all of that sort of stuff. So it was pretty incredible.
Is it one of those things too where you kind of see though that where the genre is going, and maybe conversations with your family and friends or like your team being like, you know what, like there's a lot happening in the genre right now. I want to take a crack at it. Has that ever happened?
Yeah, I think to get the opportunity to be able to kind of, be a part, as you say, of this big wave of sort of, horror genre thrillers. I think, it was very exciting. And I think, being on set and because it was all shot in a cornfield and stuff. It was not that difficult to pretend to be like creeped out
and freaked out. Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about this, it's cool because you started the interview, like the traditional kind of jump scares and the traditional kind of horror tropes. And don't get me wrong, Julian, the movie has those. You know what I mean? It's what makes the horror movies a good time, right? But what this film has that I really enjoy is it has those uncomfortable situations and uncomfortable conversations between characters where someone kind of says something to someone and it's kind of like, wait a second, like, why did he say that? Do you know what I mean by that a little bit?
Well, I think, the movie is like, it's very like quick pace, and as you said, it has all those jump scares, but it also does give for those certain moments, like, those really kind of well-placed slow moments to allow the characters to really be able to develop and sort of, give people the time to kind of process what's going on and sort of like, just enough time to like, wait, is it, maybe it's this person, or, just sort of always kind of like double thinking whether, who's maybe the bad guy or not, or what's going on. So I think those moments are great.
Oh, absolutely. You got to work with a lot of really amazing, talented people on this movie. I mean, is it one of those things where it kind of was just kind of like a pinch me moment a little bit, kind of being on set with some amazing people that have worked on some amazing movies and shows in the past as well?
Yeah, I think whenever you do a new project, always getting to work with new actors is it's one of the best parts, because that's how you learn. Really, that's how you pick up little things from everyone. And I think on this movie, because it was such a, it was a large cast of, really well established actors, you do pick up little things from everyone. I think it's a very good sort of learning experience and very helpful.
Did it feel at times where you're kind of getting immersed into the film that you were part of like a escape room basically, but that was outdoors in a cornfield? Like, was that like, did it kind of feel like that sometimes?
Well, yeah, because it totally did, because if when you're in this field, right, it's like, it's like 7 feet tall thing, like 7 feet tall stalks, it's narrow, it's confined. There's bugs. It's just pretty bad. And so like even I feel like on top of that, even the environment, like, it was cold. It was like we were in Canada. So it really, all of that kind of like, it really added, I feel like, to the kind of grind and really helped you get into the moment.
Did you do escape rooms before this movie? Have you ever done an escape room before?
I did one.
It wasn't like a horror themed one, right? It was just like a regular one. They have horror themed escape rooms, and they're not that fun.
That would be terrible.
They're not fun. It's almost like they dupe you. It's not even an escape room. It's like a haunted house. So it's like, why call it an escape room? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I don't do. I get scared very easily, so I don't.
And I find it funny because you're in like a horror movie, which is an ironic thing, right? If you talk to your family and friends.
It's like, it's really funny, but like, I generally get freaked out. like any horror movie. I mean, like I like anything like jumps here, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like that's like it's crazy.
I did an interview a while ago. I'm not gonna say who it was, but I did an interview, and I did an interview with an actor, and he's in like one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, and
Yeah.
he like was like, I can't do like you said, he can't do horror movies, and I find
Yeah.
that's like the most ironic thing of all time. Because he's
Mhm.
in like a terrifying movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's really funny. It's like funny. Before this, people always said like, "Oh, like, oh, it's different. Like being in a horror movie, it's not that creepy." And like, I think like that's to a sense true. But then when it's like 3 a.m., 30 degrees, and you're in a cornfield and you're bloody, and like there's this like dude chasing after you. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was creepy.
Does it? I mean, obviously, Julian Feder goes where the like opportunities go, but after like wrapping this film, do you have kind of this ambition and drive to like do another horror movie? Like, is that possible?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, absolutely. I think, as you said, you're always just looking for opportunities.
Yeah.
But if I did get a chance, actually, I actually, after this one, I did film somewhat of a horror movie. It's like a war horror movie called Bunker. So it was kind of cool to kind of go from like, just like, pure horror to then like war horror. So it was kind of cool. I think, there's been a lot of sort of like in the horror genre, a lot of stuff coming out.
I find it really weird too. Well, not weird. That's not real interesting. When like I ask people, like I'll ask people like, did you want to just kind of work on certain genres, or did you go like where the opportunities are? Kind of like what you just said, right? And I feel like some people like have had this whole like, yeah, I'll do whatever like comes my way opportunity wise if it fits. But some people are like, no, like I only wanted to work on like comedies. And I feel like that's kind of like risky to kind of just say you'll just work on like one genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very dependent on where you are in your career. And also I think like comedies are a bit different because like some people are just innately really funny. And so they just gravitate towards that. I wish I was. I'm unfortunately not, but yeah. So
there's a lot of people that they're not trying to be funny and they're just hilarious.
They're just I mean, it's honestly it's a little unfair sometimes, but yeah.
No, it's so great to see. The thriller kind of psychological component in this film kind of lingers around because it kind of plays head games with you a little bit. I feel like. When you're reading the script, do you kind of notice this kind of balance and kind of combination of the traditional horror, the escape kind of survival aspect of it, but a little bit of those kind of psychological head games as well, Julian?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think one of the coolest things is like when you read a script for the first time, and you kind of go through stage, you'll read a script and you kind of have this picture of what it's going to be like in your head, and then you get on set. And it's generally kind of, it's quite different. And then when you see the final product, it's really amazing to kind of, gone through that whole process of like, kind of remembering reading it and sort of envisioning what it was like to then filming it to then like actually seeing it come to life. Yep. So yeah, I mean, I think it really does that well, the whole balance of sort of psychological horror, escape, it's a lot of different things that it's sort of juggling with, but yeah, it's really cool.
It is genre bending if one can make an argument.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of genre bending happening right now, I feel like.
Yeah. I think that I think it's interesting because this movie, it like we were talking about, it's like the thriller part, psychological escape room. But I also think that it's really cool because it does at certain points it gives you those moments to really be able to sort of express your character and go into the sort of like more kind of almost dramatic moments. So I think it's a really cool balance of a lot of different genres, and it's great how it's able to sort of mix them together and pick out the best parts.
What's that like looking at the script and seeing kind of a situation where the film presents itself in like it's a community that has no choice? You're all in this cornfield, you're all trying to survive and everything, and some characters they'll see understand that they have to kind of stick together and figure things out, and then obviously some characters don't, right? They're in their own little world that don't want to kind of cooperate. What's that like as an actor seeing that on paper? Because I feel like that'd be very interesting, because I feel like there's a lot to play with, a lot of the personalities that are kind of thrown in this like you have to survive type situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, I'd say it's pretty similar to just like acting in general, right? Like you're thrown into this environment with a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of characters, essentially, on a movie set that you don't know. You guys all have to try and cooperate to get through this. So, you kind of play off a lot about that, but it is very similar, like the two situations. So I thought it was kind of fun to be able to like, we all kind of like, we really did in real life and in the movie have to work together to try and, complete the movie.
Escape the field.
Well, escape the field. Yeah.
Julian, this was a blast. Thank you so much for coming on Popternative, man.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Escape the Field's available now. Where can people follow you on social media to keep update with everything? Probably Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram, Julian_Feder, Twitter as well. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative previous episodes. Until next time, this is Julian Feder, who you can catch in Escape the Field, available now. And PD Beats, signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.